What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here in today's video, I will be giving my opinion on why I believe Portland Trailblazers shooting guard Gary Trent is the most underrated player in the NBA as a whole. So now the main reason that Gary Trent is actually getting a lot of play time and really sparking at this point in the season is because CJ McCollum suffered a foot injury on January 16th, which has put him out for a while, and he's actually still out. And Gary Trent's been able to take on this major role that he has and has really produced well and shown well for himself, which will earn him some money after next year when he goes into free agency and gets paid, which I think he'll stay in Portland just because he's too good to let go. But I think he's proven himself. He's only 22 years old. He's playing great basketball. He's doing everything for that team. He's playing defense, shooting the ball well. Every time he touches it, he seems like he's making a play, or is at least trying to. I mean, in the future, if I were the Portland Trailblazers, I would really like what I'm seeing out of him and what I think he'll give them later on down the season. But looking at his numbers, so he was drafted as an early second round pick back in the 2018 draft. He was probably the best pick in that draft. There's some other guys, Shake Milton, Devontae Graham, but looking back at it, second round wise, I think he was the best pick in that draft. He only averaged 2.7 points his rookie year. Didn't do too much, didn't really get too much playing time. He only played in 15 games, started one game, and averaged 7.4 minutes. But last year, in his second year, he took on a much bigger role. He played in 61 games, had 8 starts, 22 minutes per game, almost 9 points per game, almost a steal, 1 assist per game, and 1.6 rebounds per game. So last year we saw some growth, and kind of coming into this year, it was expected for him to take a little bit of a jump forward. And with CJ McCollum going out, he's been everything that they needed. Like he's played so well. And I think it's great for the Trailblazers, just given the fact that, when McCollum went down, I think there was a lot of panic, but Gary Trent has stepped up and been everything they needed him to be so far. But this year, his numbers, he's averaging 14.9 points per game, 1.3 assists, 2.2 rebounds, 0.7 steals. And he's doing that. He started 11 games, played in 24 games. He's averaging 29.7 minutes per game. And like I said before, this is all because CJ McCollum has been hurt, has a foot injury. But like I said, Gary Trent is giving them, the spot in the lineup, which they needed with CJ McCollum going out. Since CJ McCollum has went down with the injury and been out, the Portland Trailblazers are 8-5. And like I said before, Gary Trent plays a huge part in this. Obviously, Dame does what Dame does, and that's no question. Dame is one of the best point guards in the league and continues to prove it every game he plays. But Gary Trent's play since McCollum has went out has really led this team to this record. It seems like every time Dame drives and kicks out, Trent's open, hits the shot. He's such a good shooter. He's shooting 45% from beyond the arc, which is just incredible. And he takes a ton of threes a game. He averages 7.1 attempts per game. So he kind of knows his role. He shoots the ball well, but he actually has started getting to the bucket as the seasons went on. And that's also been pretty crucial for his scoring because now guys are kind of worried about him driving, and that opens up his shot. And he's not afraid to shoot it. Like I said, he'll shoot it with a hand in his face and still knock down the shot. With the Trailblazers being 8-5 with McCollum going out, I think that is the best possible record for them. There were a few games they definitely should have won. So they could have had a better record, but they beat teams like the 76ers. They've won some tough games with McCollum out. So I think it kind of evens it out with their bad losses. And 8-5 is definitely a good record with one of your best players out for a while with injury. They've also been without Nurkic, which has really hurt down low, but they're still getting good minutes out of Enes Kanter, who's played really well as well, taking on a bigger role. Carmelo is playing different this year. Carmelo's playing like old Melo, not as good, but he's playing like he used to back with the Knicks and with the Nuggets. So I think we're starting to see this Portland Trailblazers team turn into a really, really serious contender. They're sitting at the 5 seed now. When McCollum comes back, Trent's probably going to come off the bench, and bringing Gary Trent off the bench, he is a starter in the NBA. Gary Trent could start for a ton of teams in the NBA, but CJ McCollum is just such a good shooting guard that I think they're going to have to bring Trent off the bench. And when Trent comes off the bench, it's not like they're really taking a step back. Trent's still going to score a ton. He's going to give them great minutes off the bench, exactly what they needed to be quite honest. And this is just good for the team, having a guy like Gary Trent prove that he can play with CJ McCollum going out for injury. Looking at Gary Trent's game logs for the season, he's been a little bit up and down when McCollum was actually playing and not injured. He had a game where he scored 28 with McCollum playing next to him, so that's pretty impressive. But since McCollum went down through injury, he's only scored less than double figures in one game, and that was against the Milwaukee Bucks, where he scored just 8 points. He was a little off, 3 for 13 from field goals and 2 for 8 from the three-point line. But since then, he's scored 26, 24, 19, 15, 19, 26, and 17 against the Mavericks in a great needed win for them. So just seeing him play better and better as the season goes on is so impressive. And another thing that impresses me is right now he's playing on a minimum contract. For second round picks, you see that a lot, but he's really producing well. He signed a 3-year minimum salary contract in 2018. Like I said, was a second round pick. Then his first year went back and forth in the G League. Didn't really play that much. But I feel like the Trailblazers saw something in him because they didn't let him go. They held on to him. They knew he was going to be good. Like I said, he's a really good player. Even at Duke, he was a 5-star going there. He was the Minnesota Gatorade Player of the Year, I believe. So it was always a lot of high expectations for him. And he was really a great player at Duke. Like I said, he was expected to be a first-round draft pick, which was a little surprising that he wasn't. But an early second round, late first, pretty similar. It's just second-round draft picks, it's way less of a risk than a first-round draft pick. A lot of guys get held, a lot of teams get held to, what first-round draft pick they have. So I guess maybe teams were a little cautious on him, but he's proven the player he is. He's shown he's good enough to be a starter on a lot of teams in the NBA, and there are a ton of teams that could use him this year. So when his time comes, he's going to get paid a ton of money. Now, looking on to his time at Duke, he averaged 14.5 points per game, shot 40% from beyond the arc, 41% field goals. He played really well there. It was the 2017-2018 season, so they had a lot of good guys there with him. But like I said, he was a 5-star. He was recruited highly. There were a lot of expectations for him while he was at Duke, which, I would say he lived up to. He played well, and after 1 year, he decided to leave. And I know a lot of people probably disagreed with that decision, but for him, to be honest, in my opinion, it's really worked out and has been great for him. His first year, he kind of got used to it, and he was still young. He was still getting used to the NBA at such a young age. Then his second year in the NBA, sophomore year, got better and better. Actually even played some minutes in the postseason, which, it's kind of impressive. He averaged almost 10 points per game in the postseason, which you don't really see from a second round pick. That's not really that common, and he did it. And now this year they're going to make the playoffs again, it's looking like, and I think he'll blow up even more. And in that playoff, in the Lakers series, they lost 4-1 to the Lakers, who went on to win the championship, but still, it was impressive to see him, kind of step into that role in his second year, like I said, after being drafted in the second round and putting on a ton of skill, playing great, and doing what he did just that year, and now this year stepping up. So looking forward, like I said, throughout the season, I just think we're going to see him improve and score more and more points. And I think he's going to be a huge asset to this Trailblazers team come playoff time, because I think he's going to be coming off the bench just because McCollum eventually will be coming back from injury. So now looking forward into this offseason, he will actually be a restricted free agent, which means basically any team can offer him a certain amount of money and the Trailblazers can match that and bring him back. Now, like I said before, I think the Trailblazers will bring him back because, to be quite honest, he is going to be one of their best players in the future. He's the future of this team. He's really, really good, and keeping him around would just be smart for them. However, if a team offers him way too much that the Trailblazers can't afford, I'm not exactly sure what the Trailblazers' salaries are looking like and how much money they're willing to pay for him. But like I said before, I believe they're going to match any team's offer that, pays him a certain amount of money. With that being said, if he continues to have the year he does have, he is going to get paid a great amount of money this offseason, and like he should. I would like to see him in Portland again next year just because I think he I think he fits in so well with that team. You know, he's always open, always hitting shots when they need him to. And he's, like I said, a huge, huge factor of that team and their success. So as just a 22-year-old right now, not even anywhere near the top of his prime yet. You know, the next 5 years, he could take an even bigger jump than what he's already at, which I'm just really excited to see for him. So, like I said before, I think the Trailblazers will match any team's offer to him unless it's just outrageous. But we will see following this NBA season, and if he plays a huge part in a playoff run that they have, he'll get paid even more. So that is it for this video. Like I said, I just really believe that he is the most underrated player in the NBA, and this short amount of time starting for the Trailblazers with McCollum out has proven it to me, in my opinion. But that is it for this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. It means a lot. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, drop your comments, your thoughts, whatever you guys think about this. And a subscription will really be appreciated. I'm going to be dropping a ton of these NBA videos as the season goes on, like I said, and I already have dropped a few, but more and more will be coming out. So I really appreciate you guys watching. And like I said, leave a like, a comment, and a subscription would really be appreciated. Be looking out for another video sometime soon. I'll be dropping another one pretty soon. But I really appreciate you guys watching this. And like I said, please leave a like, comment, and subscription. Thank you.